talked a lot about a horse's instinct and his basic nature. And with that knowledge, you can probably figure out the most common sense ways to behave with your horse. But let's look at the most fundamental tenets of good horsemanship when you're working with a horse on the ground.
When approaching a horse, remember that with his eyes set on either side of his head, he is able to perceive nearly a complete 360-degree field of vision. However, they do have two basic blind spots, directly behind them and directly in front of them near the forehead. Understanding that, you can see why it is important to walk towards a horse at a slight angle so he can see you clearly. Horses in the wild are prey animals rather than predators, and their startling instinct is very strong. If you can avoid surprising them, you will be safer and your horse will be a lot happier. If you must approach him from an area where he cannot see you, you should speak calmly, letting him know you're there, and as you near him, pet him quietly with one hand to signal your presence. While doing this, be sure to stand to one side the best you can to avoid being kicked, just in case he is surprised. If you are in a confined area like the cross ties and you're going to walk behind him, be sure to stand close and keep a hand on his hindquarters so he always knows you're there. If you are not in cross ties and in an open area and want to walk to the other side behind him, you should walk far enough away that he can't reach you with a hind leg kicking out. Never get in no man's land, which is about 2 or 3 feet behind him. That's the danger zone. Remember, horses are rarely just plain mean or trying to hurt you. They are simply responding with their natural instincts to their environment, and it's up to you to predict how they will act and stay out of their way to keep from getting injured. As we have mentioned, use a calm tone of voice around your horse. Although horses can learn certain words and become voice trained, they will never understand the human language. We primarily communicate with our tone rather than with words. You probably know how you can say in a soft, sweet voice to your dog that he's just the ugliest dog in the world and he just sits there and wags his tail. Well, horses are the same way. Conversely, if you use an angry, loud tone of voice, you'll intimidate him, even though he's much bigger and stronger. And as you recall, they will try to get away from the things that scare them. You always want to avoid making sudden movements. Steady, quiet, gradual movements are imperative because if you move suddenly, you'll startle him. This is easily prevented by always remaining composed, calm, and relaxed when you're with your horse. You know, this works well with people, too. If you recall, a horse's sense of smell is incredible. They introduce themselves to each other with a sniff. Capitalize on this natural instinct of theirs. Once within arm's length of a horse, slowly extend a hand so that he can smell you and recognize your scent. In this way, you are using his language to communicate. Use the combination of information in this video and that about a horse's body language, and you'll start getting the full picture about understanding horses and how to behave around them comfortably and safely.